Hey manifestors, Meera Allen with your Manifesting Destiny Moon Update. Welcome to Aries season. Now we've shifted, and welcome to Eclipse season that is about to start with this full moon in Libra lunar eclipse and the equinox. There's a lot going on. Let me just start with the times. So for LA, it's March 25th at midnight. New York, March 25th at 3 a.m. London, 25th of March at 7 a.m, Sydney, Australia at 6 p.m, and Brisbane, where I'm here, 5 p.m. on the 25th. So I love that I looked back this time. I really reflected. I was thinking about what is it that this full moon lunar eclipse, the first eclipse of the season, are you ready? Are we ready? No, are we ever ready? So look at where we were. The last time we had a new moon eclipse in Libra was October last year. So October 2023. Where were you in October 23? What intentions did you set at that new moon eclipse in Libra then? Now have a look at where we are at a full moon lunar eclipse, where this time we really get clear and we say, okay, what are my relationships like? My relationships like with my work, my relationships like with the outer world, the relationships with my social media even. Like that's become a whole nother thing where people have an entire relationship with their phones, their computers. I'm here on YouTube with you guys. What we see in our feed, what's the relationship that we're creating with what we're taking into our eyes? What relationships, as with eclipses, are always about what are those relationships that don't serve us anymore? And that could be relationships even to food, according to your health and wellness, your finances, your money, your career, your way you look at your relationship to your spirituality and your communication with whatever you believe, God or the higher force or the quantum field that you are a part of. So it's our relationships to how we learn, how we grow, how we study, the relationships to the closest people that are in our closest top 5 that influence our daily thoughts and our upbringing. And those relationships now can really be looked at. Because Sun's gone into Aries, it's also a time for all of us feel like, okay, it's time to lead. We were in this dreamy Pisces, and a lot of people I've been speaking to have had very interesting dreams, very vivid dreams as well. And now we're coming out of that season and we're learning to reflect. Where have we been? What have the intuition and what has Pisces shown us? Where have we evolved? Where have we grown within ourselves? And what has shifted from October last year, since that new moon eclipse in Libra, to where we're going to be on the 25th of March this year, in all facets of our wheel of life. What brings us, Libra is all about balance. What brings us great balance? But Aries, Sun in Aries, is bringing us great leadership. It's the ram. Where can we lead ourselves to have great balance in our entirety of our wheel of life? Where can we bring great balance into our work and career life, into our long-term investments, into our spirituality? Where can we bring long-term balance in the way we study and learn? Where can we bring long-term balance in our health and our wellness? It's been something I've been focusing on so much. I look back at October and I was personally in a kinesiology appointment, shout out Jane. And so I looked at these timings of where have I been working on these things that I planted those seeds of intention on the new moon in October last year, that eclipse. And where is that going to be affecting us now in this full moon lunar eclipse in Libra? In your relationships, where do you really bring balance? And where can you lead yourself? And you think, yeah, I've actually reflected, I've grown. What relationships with either food, health or wellness, finances, whatever facet of your life you're really looking at, what relationship needs to end? What addiction needs to be put down? Where have you made a commitment last year and said, oh, I want to focus on XYZ, but I need the discipline to do XYZ to get that to happen. So now's the time we really get to have a look at that as this eclipse happens, the first eclipse of the year. Where do we wipe that slate clean? I always say that for eclipses because it's literally where the light goes into shadow, and the shadow things have to be looked at. And when the shadow things of ourselves need to be looked at, we start to clear out and we move forward. Who are the people that bring you, what relationships bring you positivity and raise your vibration? Where do you have really good boundaries? Librans are one of those things that known as people pleasers, and we don't set our boundaries very straight, and what happens is time gets bended into everybody else's needs, and sometimes hundreds of people's needs. That's what often happens. So you've got to look at now, where can I be a bit more Aries? Where can you be a bit more Aries with yourself? As the sun moved into Aries, the fire element moving into Aries. So sun, fire, Aries, fire sign. Where can you bring that fire and that tearing that leadership into yourself? This is going to be an interesting time in the world with leadership, because leadership is going to be changed a lot around the world, and it's time for the truth that gets put into the light to be revealed as well. Particularly this lunar eclipse, there'll be a lot of truths coming out. And it's funny, I'm not even a royal watching monarchy kind of person, and recently in the last 3-4 weeks I've had the royals come into my subconscious. The lady that's been missing, Princess Catherine, that went missing in Christmas time, and I started looking into it. And I thought, why am I thinking about royal family? I don't really think about these kinds of things. And I had a look at it, and I realized that this woman hasn't been really seen since Christmas Day. And people that love the royals. Almost love can be blinding. And you look at these institutions, and if you dig a little bit deeper, it's not all that beautiful, and it's not all that royal. There's so much underneath it. There's so much scandals, and there's so much death, and there's so many people vanishing and disappearing. And if you dig a little bit deeper, a lot of these leaders or constructs of what we should be aspiring to, as whether it's Hollywood or whether it's the royals or whether it's this externalized thing of who are the people that are leading, it doesn't make sense. They are just another human being. They are governed by the elements just as we all are. So we're all starting to step into that more sovereign part of ourselves as we start to bring more balance into our own way we lead ourselves, rather than letting external entities, governments, royal families, and Hollywood figures, or whatever influences our own sovereign leadership. This is a time, this lunar eclipse gets to bring that shadow up to the surface and then bring light back onto it again. So it's a full moon, so it's quite intense as a first eclipse of the season. Of course, it's a going into those darker places. You think moon, lunar, nighttime, but the nighttime, the emotional body, getting wiped that slate clean, going into the deep dark shadows, and then the truth being revealed. And I feel like that's a really important thing. What needs closure? What needs to be let go of? What truth needs to come up? What governments need to move away, stop, and get out of people's governing their family lives? Where do we come back to being sovereign people, connected to a spiritual force, a divine force that governs us more strongly than anything? And that's something that no one can take that away from you. No Hollywood actor can tell you or influence your relationship to your inner divine self that brings you balance. No royal monarchy person can tell you what you're actually meant to be doing with your relationship to all facets of your life, your relationship to your food, your relationship to your loved ones, your relationship to your work, your relationship to your spirituality. These things nobody else outside of us can govern. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time to look at. Where do you need to bring closure? And I really want to reiterate, this new tech, this new AI, this new relationship that we have with social media, it's taking hours of our lives or our time, and it's us that govern our sovereign time and energy. We govern where we want to put our time and energy. I invite anybody that wants to unsubscribe from my channel, unsubscribe, so that it's less clutter in your day or your week. Like, really be sovereign with yourself and go, what serves me? What do I want to look at? What do I want to have a bing pop up and put into my subconscious mind? What do I really need to clear away this lunar eclipse that doesn't serve my higher self? That maybe comes from an external force that doesn't actually matter to my day-to-day tasks of bringing myself joyful happiness, a good, honest, moral living life that feels like my cup is full. So really write those things down. What are those things that I've spent my hours on? What are distracted me and what is actually given to me? And then have the Aries leadership, like that ram. Be so determined, be so disciplined that you go, yeah, okay, I'm actually going to take action steps to bring that balance into my life. And this is what I need to do to bring that balance back to my life with the scales, with the Libran balancing time of this full moon on the 25th. It's pretty awesome. I really do encourage you guys to look back at that date around mid-October last year and look at what you were doing around September, October last year. What were you doing in Libra season last year? And how can you bring that forward? Now, the other part of this video is about this equinox. So equinox, again, it's about balance. We go into that autumnal or spring time of the year where it's neither really that dramatic. It's more about bringing harmony of the seasons within you, harmony of the seasons outside of you. How do we bring balance into the autumn, what we're shedding, or the fall, as you say in the Northern Hemisphere? What are we shedding? What are we letting go? Or we're also looking at the Southern Hemisphere turning into autumn, or we're looking at the Northern Hemisphere as they're going into their spring. What is it that they want to expand and grow into? And how do we start to look at things that we can harvest from, that we've put in the effort, and we can now start to reap those rewards and grow those things in your springtime and actually allow those things to flourish. But right now, we're sitting in this little balance on the earth where the whole world seems to be roughly an even temperature, roughly the even time of time in the day, and we actually find this little moment of equilibrium and balance. And that's what that full moon in Libra will also highlight on the 25th, that equilibrium and that balance. How does that come forward into your life, and where does it need to be brought into your life more? Really, what is your relationship like with I did an exercise with a client recently about the exercise with their relationship with money, and got them to actually hold the money and feel the money and say, hey, like, I relate to you, I'm okay with you, you bring me things, you pay for petrol in my car, you pay for food, you're awesome, and really have a relationship with that money. And that was a beautiful turning point to actually see, what is your relationship like with your closest loved ones? Do you feel like, hey, no, I need some boundaries here because my relationship with my sovereign inner self is more important? Or, hey, I want to spend more time with you because you're cool to hang out with and I enjoy this relationship. Your relationship with other things that inspire you. My relationship to music has been something that has absolutely grown. I just got a new little Bose speaker the other day and I thought, wow, that sounds so good. I'm just really enjoying my relationship to music, my relationship to my inner spiritual journey. That relationship, so deep, so powerful, so important. So I really want you guys to think about your relationships in all facets of your life. It's your relationship to your home, your relationship to your plants. I'm just growing all these tomatoes and they're just flourishing and they're so happy. So, have a look at what you can do this new moon. I'm going to have a look at, I love Yasmin Boland, and I really felt called, she's a fellow Australian astrologer. She's amazing, and she's a moonologist, if you will. She says this: declutter and release this full moon. No matter where you are in the world and no matter what reason it is, let this full moon be an opportunity to do some deep spring cleaning. Get rid of stuff you no longer need. This might seem like a slightly pointless or mundane exercise, but decluttering your life will change it. If you know anything about Feng Shui, the ancient Taoist practice of creating a space to create harmony and flow and abundance, you know that energy gets stuck. And when it hits rubbish and mess, it literally stagnates. Create an environment where lethargy or disharmony will no longer flourish. Declutter your home and you'll find the energy will flow more smoothly. Perhaps you feel a sense of heaviness or dread before. Now you'll feel a sense of freedom and optimism. Be sure to declutter with the intention of releasing unwanted connections to the past. So again, I reiterate, go back to your connections of the past. Look at your relationship to where your wheel of life was sitting in October, September 2023, or even earlier than that. And then look at how you can actually do those things that you started to move forward in that new moon back then to get this completion, this lunar eclipse in Libra, while we've got this Aries sun backing your decision. Back yourself and enjoy that. Enjoy that sovereign feeling. Make that spaciousness so that all that you would like to attract into your life can flourish truly. This is a beautiful, beautiful time to get that slate clear. Find that equilibrium. My name is Meera Allen. Please, if you haven't subscribed. If you want to. If it's going to clutter your life, don't subscribe. If you feel like, yep, I can handle a video from this girl, she's all right, please hit that subscribe button with that little bell so you do get my notification. And I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful full moon lunar eclipse.